Hey guys, so funny story. I mean, maybe not so funny. I got bored last night, so I decided that I should take a visit to the ER. And here's why I did it. Not really because I was bored. That was a joke. Um, so I, you all know that I have this history of heart disease and heart attacks at a young age, like 40s, like right into the 40s. If you followed me, you understand that. So I started with this shooting pain that kind of went down my arm on Wednesday, and I didn't think anything of it. And then I realized, holy crap, that was my left arm. Like, well, like, what do I do now? So, I just kind of let that go. I let it go, and so that was Wednesday. Didn't notice a whole lot Thursday, Friday. Nothing really that made me concerned. I noticed that maybe I was having like some palpitations, and I would check my pulse, and this has kind of happened before, but not with chest pains. So I'm sitting there after we eat dinner, and I'm like, this is just not comfortable. It's not going away, and I'm pushing to see if like maybe I pulled something. No. I mean, clearly, if I was pushing and I pulled something, I would think that I would feel a little bit of some. And I'm feeling like a little something here, so all these times, not the first time I've had like a little scared where I'm like, oh, I'm having a little bit of pain. I text my dad, because I want to know, like, what were the signs you had when you were having your heart attack for a day or two before you said, hey, I think something's not right. So, he gave me his signs and symptoms, and, he says sometimes females feel it differently. And then all of a sudden, after going back and forth, he says, go get it checked now. And that freaked me out a little bit because my dad did not go get his checked now. Nobody told him, hey, you might be having a heart attack. Go get it checked now. Now, I did not think at that point that I was having a heart attack. I just thought, maybe there's just something not right. I need to go get it checked. I'd rather be safe than sorry because of my family history. Because of the fact that sometimes females don't feel anything when they have heart attacks. Because of the fact that one of my uncles does not have the normal signs when he has a heart attack. Because of the fact that I'm a year older than what my dad was when he had his heart attack and had 2 arteries clogged. And because of the fact that if I would have just said, it's probably nothing, and it was something, who's going to take care of my family? Who's going to take care of my kids if I'm not taking care of myself? And the fact that this all turned out fine, not crying. The fact that this all turned out fine, and the fact that, I walked into the emergency room and I was like, hey, do people normally walk in here and say they have chest pains? And they're like, well, sometimes, but not generally. So EKG was fine. I explained them my family history, so they decided to do these tests that, the results come back really quick. They check my cardiac enzymes, and that's a test that they're able to tell if there's some sort of damage or anything like that going on with your heart. It's just kind of off. It's also a test that has to be ran within a couple of hours after you get there. So needless to say, an overreaction on my part, but it's better safe than sorry reaction on my part. Because you guys, I cannot stress this shit enough that you need to freaking take care of yourselves. You need to not take this stuff for granted. Don't be like a hypochondriac and run if you have gas. Don't run to the hospital if you're farting or whatever. Don't flip out. But because of my family history and because of the fact that I think for 2 days my dad was like, I'm just feeling this pain. I really think someone needs to take me in and get it checked. And, then the symptoms started to automatically and increasingly get worse for him. Had he waited another day, I don't know what would have happened. Had I not had someone say, go get it checked now, and it had been something, then what? Then what? Nobody ever has time to go get themselves checked out. Nobody ever has time to go to the doctor and find out what's wrong with them. Nobody ever has time to make some changes in their life that need to be made. Make the freaking time. Okay, I kind of felt stupid going to the ER. I really did, because I was like, look, I don't, it's not a constant pain. I'm just concerned about it, and I want to get it checked. In my mind, I kept thinking to myself, this shit's going to cost a lot of money. These tests right here are probably a couple $1,000s a piece. I had a chest x-ray, I had an EKG, and I had 4, 5, ended up being 5, 6 vials of blood that came out of me to run these tests. In the long run, everything came back and checked out okay, but here's something that didn't check out okay. My thyroid was off by 0.2 of a point. May not mean a whole lot of anything at all. May mean absolutely nothing as to why this went on, but it could totally mean why this went on. So yeah, I'm due to go to my endocrinologist this month, and he's going to know everything about it, and we're going to check it again. And, you know, sometimes your thyroid fluctuates, but what if I just said screw it and never went in? What if my dad said screw it and didn't go in? He wouldn't be here today, you guys. Quit taking this crap for granted. Quit thinking that, hey, you know what? I'm not going to worry about it now. I don't have time to go to the dentist. I don't have time to go to the doctor and get checked out. You know what? Your family wants you to make some effing time. Seriously. You owe it to them to be at your best with your health. Now, whether or not, you know, because my dad was like, go get it checked now, in like capital letters, I was like, I better go. Because like, if I don't go, then he's going to get on me like, well, why didn't you go? You really should get it checked. You really need to check this out. You really have to, you know, look into this and find out what's wrong. Had I not done that, I would not have had peace of mind as I walked out of there, kind of laughing a little bit yesterday, thinking, thank God it was nothing. Because what if it was? I caught it early. If it was something, if it was the start of a heart attack, they would have known immediately when they did that blood test, and they could have caught it right away. Do you know that if you go in before you even have a heart attack, the chances of survival and the chances of having a second heart attack are pretty slim? Do you know if you go in after you've already had a heart attack, your heart has got damage, and maybe it cannot be it can't be fixed. You know, like you got 85% damage to your heart, and it's not working so well because you've been a jackass and you haven't gone and gotten yourself checked, and you don't have time for it. And the reason I'm saying it like this is because I know some people who are doing this, and I don't want them to do it. So take this as a wake-up call. This was a wake-up call to me to not mess around with things. Ended up being perfectly fine, perfectly normal, but my thing is this. If you have a family history of a certain illness and you are not getting it checked and you are not taking it seriously, I don't want to cuss. I really don't want to, but don't be so fucking stupid. Don't. Shame on you for not going and getting that checked. I don't care if you have to call off work and your boss is going to threaten your job, because seriously, you guys, if you're dead, you can't work anyway, can you? So, I mean, maybe I'm getting a little too crazy about this. Maybe I'm getting a little bit too passionate about it, but I just don't understand how people take their health for granted. You cannot put a dollar sign on it. You can't. And if you want to live life like that and deteriorate day by day by day by day because you don't have enough time, or you just don't have enough money to go to the doctor, or you don't care to go to the doctor, or you just don't think anything bad could happen to you, then I'm here to tell you that you're being stupid. I'm not telling you to run to the doctor every time something's wrong with you, but I'm telling you that in my mind today, I think right now, yeah, that turned out fine, but what if it didn't? What if I didn't go in? What if I just let that pain happen for a few more days and it was something that I could have stopped or prevented something worse from happening? So I'm glad I went in. When the bill comes, I probably will be like, this is just ridiculous. I can't believe I did that. But I'm glad I went in, because if I didn't, you know, you can have underlying issues that you're not aware of. And all of that, to if it just turned out to be my thyroid, is still an issue that needs to be addressed. It's still an issue that's going to need to be addressed. And I'm going to go and get that addressed. The doctor's going to get the results. They want me to still go for a stress test because of the history that I have. So my lesson to you is, I know it's scary. I know it's scary sometimes to go to the doctor because you don't want to know if something's wrong with you. But if you know ahead of time, or you know in the beginning stages of something, or you know at the phase where you can reverse it, or at the stage where you can make things not happen as bad, or you can discuss what the plan of action is as to how this cannot be fatal to your life, then you owe it to yourself and you owe it to your family to get your butt into the doctor and get that stuff checked. I mean, like, we have diabetes, we have heart disease, we have just everything in this family, and you better believe that between me and my kids, and they're going to get checked. They're going to get checked, because if it's something that can be prevented and you're not trying to prevent it, shame on you. Shame on you, because I don't even know what I would. I'd probably be all over my dad's ass right now if he didn't go and get, well, I mean, I wasn't there when he had the ambulance come, but if he didn't go every year and get his tests, ask him. I ask him every year around that time. You going? Is it scheduled? Do you have it scheduled? How's everything going? Every year I ask him, because I know come May, June, he better have that test scheduled. He better. Because if he doesn't, there might be something that's there that they could have fixed. Don't wait until it's too late, you guys. Make your health a priority. Don't flip out about it, because like I kind of felt like maybe I flipped out about it, but you know what? They kind of were like, look, here, everybody has different symptoms, everybody has different signs. Let's check you out and make sure that everything is okay. And they didn't really foresee anything bad to come from any of the tests, but they wanted to run them all just to make sure, because of my family history. And whether or not you have a history of that or not, it's still something you should get checked out. So don't freak out. Don't be afraid to get it checked out, because I'm like, let me find out if I can prevent this, or I can fix it before it gets worse. Like, isn't that what you do if you have a leak in your sink, or maybe if your car's about to run out of gas, or you need an oil change? Don't you go get that done before you run out of oil and lock your engine up? Right? Don't you find the money to buy new tires for your car? Didn't you all just find enough money to go to a concert this weekend? Find the money to take care of your freaking health, you guys, because if you don't have your health, you have nothing. So that's all that my rampage was today. Everything's good. I'm going to follow up with my doctor, my endocrinologist, and we're going to check and make sure the thyroid is still good. And I'm sure he's going to run a couple, physical type things to see if, there's anything that has changed or that we need to address as far as like, because, you go back in my history as far as what went on with my thyroid, and my heart was in pretty bad condition as far as beating a million bajillion beats a minute. Does it have anything to do with that? I don't know, but we're going to check it out. So don't be afraid. Don't be stupid. Don't take your health for granted, and take care of yourself. Because if you don't take care of yourself, how are you going to take care of those around you? Thanks for getting on, guys. That was my lesson of the day, and I will see you next time. Have a great day.